Bienvenue à tous. Time now for our international press review in the papers today with Owen Fairclough. Owen, serious story to start with.
Indeed, Mark, it's a pretty grim tale. The Michel Fourniret trial getting underway in eastern France. Coverage, a lot of coverage in French and Belgian papers. If we have a look at the Parisien, you can probably just see it there. Their headline really sort of reflects how gruesome this case is. The devils in front of their judges, referring to Fourniret and his wife. Libération, the French paper, has a similar sort of headline. You can just see there the predatory couple finally in front of the court. An editorial which caught my eye in the Belgian paper, La Libre Belgique, really looks at the actual process of this trial and asks really the judge in this trial to spare a thought for the families who are going to have to sit through around 2 months.
It's at least 7 murders. Fourniret's admitted those 7.
Indeed.
Yeah.
He's still going to take the stand, though, apparently, and this editorial does make the point that if he's not going to say an awful lot, apparently he's just going to criticise his legal advice and try and defend his wife. What is the point in putting him on the stand?
I've covered legal cases in the past in the UK when someone pleads guilty, that's the end of the case, they're sentenced, that's it.
That's right.
I'm a bit puzzled as to why this is going on.
I suppose he does have a right to have his say. He has a right to be defended, but I think there's a line a careful line to be trodden between sparing the families too much grief.
Oh, he's admitted it. Anyway, look, we better move on. We could debate this one all day.
Absolutely.
What's next?
I've also been looking at the rumblings of this potential boycott over the opening ceremony of the Olympics.
It's getting louder and louder, isn't it?
Indeed. Looking at the Australian newspaper, Greg Sheridan, their foreign editor, he thinks that a boycott of the opening ceremony would be a good idea. He thinks that governments so far have been a bit weak in calling for restraint or calling on China to show some restraint with Tibet. He thinks that boycotts have worked in the past. He mentions the Moscow Olympics in 1980 dealt a severe blow to Soviet morale. And of course, cricketing boycotts of South Africa in the past have really shone the spotlight on the apartheid situation. Now,
I disagree with the Moscow thing, by the way. The Moscow boycott was nonsense to me, but please carry on.
No, not at all. Tim Brown in the Manawatu paper, the Manawatu Standard in New Zealand.
The Manawatu Standard, I love that.
It's a great title, isn't it? He was a torchbearer for the 2006 Winter Olympics. He thinks that a boycott was a bad idea. He thinks the only people who really suffer during these things are the athletes themselves, not the targets of these boycotts.
Which in effect what happened with Moscow, because obviously that was about the war in Afghanistan, which the Soviets were waging. The Soviets lost. Who's waging the war today? The Americans, who boycotted Moscow. So it all goes full circle, doesn't it?
Opinion very much divided on that.
Okay.
I have to then finish. There's obviously been out-and-out coverage in the UK of the Sarkozy visit. It looks
really? I'm shocked.
It looks like the UK has a new queen, Mark. Carla Sarkozy has gone on an absolute storm in the UK. I'll just show you the Le Figaro newspaper on the back there. You can probably see photos of the couple. There she is, in all her splendour. If we take a look at some of the papers around the world, La Stampa newspaper in Italy calling Carla the new queen. The Daily Mail has an absolutely fabulous piece here where they make the comparison between Carla and Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall.
I was going to say, this is just so Daily Mail.
They described here, they say Camilla looked like a pheasant had crash-landed on her head compared to Carla, who looked sort of almost very much like Jackie Kennedy.
That's just so cruel. I mean, Camilla was never a fashion model. Obviously, Carla's got that poise, whatever.
She's being compared to Jackie Kennedy,
crazy.
And some papers asking, is she the new Lady Diana?
Okay, well, you didn't touch the horoscopes. Mine in the Parisien says form, that's health, lack of sleep. There you go. So I'm going to get kept. Owen, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. You were Francis Van Cat. Stay with us.